What if perfect form is the reason you're not making gains? If you're only using perfect form, chances are you're leaving a lot of gains on the table.
But let's start with what I actually mean by bad form, because I'm not talking about sloppy reps that are gonna get you injured, where your joints are in dangerous positions or you stray from the proper movement path of an exercise, like muscle ups with flared elbows, for example. What I mean is controlled, imperfect reps. Things like partial reps, slightly shorter range of motion, or reps that just aren't as clean as your first few. For example, if you're doing pull-ups and don't fully lock out at the bottom, or your chin doesn't go over the bar, or even with weighted exercises like a bench press where you don't lock out at the top, or touch the bar with your chest at the bottom. Most people stop the moment their form starts to break down. They hit their last perfect rep and end the set. But the reality is your muscles don't just stop working after that last clean rep. They're still capable of producing force, just not perfectly anymore. And if you stop there every time, you never actually tap into that extra effort that creates progressive overload, especially when wanting to maintain a specific intensity with a specific weight or exercise without having to reduce the weight or move to an easier progression.
Now real quick, I want you to actually test this. Drop down and give me a set of your max push-ups. But this time, don't worry about doing every rep with perfect form. In fact, you can even do half reps, it really doesn't matter. Just try to go for as many as you can, and let's see how many you get.
Did you hit a new PR? Well, no, because those reps don't count towards a PR since the form wasn't perfect. But those reps still matter, because over time, those reps start to change. Those half reps turn into full reps. The shaky reps become controlled, and what used to be your limit eventually becomes part of your normal set. But only if you know this one major rule. But if you don't apply this rule, you'll be stuck doing only bad reps forever. But I'll come back to this later. For strength and hypertrophy, this is where bad form can actually give you an advantage. Because let's say you're doing pull-ups and you hit 8 perfect reps, but you can't do another perfectly. Most people would stop right there. But if you keep going, even if you're only pulling halfway, you're able to continue creating tension, having you reach hypertrophy. Same thing with push-ups or any other exercise. Your last reps might only go halfway up and down, but that extra effort past your perfect reps is exactly what you need for growth and gains.
And this doesn't just apply to reps. This works for skills too.
If you ever try a full planche or front lever for the first time, your hips will probably be too low, your body might not be completely straight, your elbows will probably be bent, and you'll probably be leaning too far or not far enough. But you'd still be holding something close to the skill. And if you only ever train progressions completely perfect and never allow yourself to push into those holds that aren't, you're limiting your intensity. But when you push past that perfect form, you're increasing your time under tension at a higher level. And just like with the reps, over time, those imperfect holds become perfect. What used to be your max effort becomes your new baseline. And then you repeat the process again. And just to clarify, of course I mean trying these skills for the first time after already training their progressions first. And not just jumping into something you're completely unprepared for. You've been training the movement and you're ready to move up, because at that point, even if the next progression isn't perfect yet, you still need to attempt it. And you're still going to get stronger from it. That's how you actually bridge the gap from one level to the next.
Now at this point, you may be thinking, wait, haven't I always said to focus on perfect form?
Yes, that still applies, but there's a big difference between controlled, imperfect reps and dangerous form. You should never sacrifice joint positioning, stability, or the actual movement patterns just to get extra reps. Things like flaring your elbows out in a muscle up or letting your lower back take over in movements that should be controlled by your core, for example, deadlifts, squats, etc. Perfect form is still your foundation. The goal here is not to replace perfect reps, it's to increase them.
Now, a lot of times, your first attempt at a skill is not gonna look perfect. So this becomes really useful when you're trying to bridge the gap between progressions.
Your first full planche might have slightly bent arms or hips too high or too low. Your first front lever might not be completely horizontal and parallel to the ground. But if you never allow yourself to attempt and train those slightly imperfect versions, you get stuck in progressions longer than you need to. It's by combining your perfect form progressions with higher intensity imperfect reps or holds that you've been able to train the actual movements and skills you want sooner and at a higher demand, which speeds up your progress way more than staying comfortable in easier variations.
So how do you actually use this without overdoing it? Because you don't want every set of every workout to be done with bad form.
It's simple. You just have to follow this rule. For most of your training, you'll still focus on clean, controlled reps, full range of motion, and perfect technique. But once you're doing an exercise where the intensity is between 60 to 70% of your max, you can start loosening the strictness of your form or range of motion. That's it. That can be your first rep or your 40th rep. It just depends on the exercise you're doing. And of course, how intense it's feeling at that current state. Basically, how fatigued you get throughout the workout. You can also do this 1 to 2 times a week to increase your total volume of an exercise or skill. For example, you could finish a pull-up set with half reps, or hold a slightly imperfect planche for more time once you can't hold it perfectly any longer. You could also use bad form on intensity days by pushing you closer to failure, once the intensity is reaching that 60 to 70% range. Either way, you're adding something your body isn't used to, which is exactly what forces it to adapt and grow stronger. But the problem many people have is doing the opposite. Trying to still use way too perfect form past that 60 to 70% intensity range. Doing this is only good when trying to clean and perfect your perfect reps at the end of your set. But again, you just get stuck at doing perfect reps within your comfort zone and barely progress at all. The other problem is people who only train with bad form and never use perfect form. This gives no benefit to using bad form, and might actually be why some of you are still in a state of no progress. And that's really the point of all of this. If you only ever train perfectly, you'll get really good at staying within your limits. But if you learn how to safely push past them, even if it doesn't look perfect at first, they eventually will, and you'll actually start making real gains fast because you'll keep repeating that cycle over and over.
That's how you keep progressing. But if you need more help applying this into your own training with structured programs showing you exactly when to keep your reps clean, when to push past failure, and how to progress from basic movements to the advanced skills like the planche, front lever, and one-arm pull-ups, just download the THENX app right now for free in the App Store. Take your training and physique to the next level, join the millions of THENX athletes around the world in the THENX community, and join me on my live seminars all inside the THENX app. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button, share this video with a friend, and let me know down in the comments below if you think that good form is always better than bad form. Anyway, I'll see you next Monday with a brand new video, 10 a.m. USA Eastern Time. Mad love, peace out, baby.